Alright. So for this area, let's just close off this piece. This one won't take too long. Back to quad draw. And drop in an edge here. Let's hit my center line. Now I'm going to start expressing some really big broad strokes. Alright, so I'm using the quad draw as a marker for where I want things to start. So where I want this tube to start, where I want it to end. Right, and those are going to be markers. Those are markers for my geometry, where I have a change in the flow in geometry. So let's complete this out. You know, that's my really only criticism of this tool, honestly, is that it doesn't always, you really have to be tricky with the camera to get the faces that you want to be formed sometimes. You know, and then over time you gain a little intuition in how it's thinking. It's part of just learning a new tool. But then I also think that, you know, this is release one of this, and they'll improve that algorithm, you know, in 2016, 2017, probably 2018 we'll have something entirely different. But let's see, so that's too big of a movement for it to handle, so I'm gonna just drop an edge up here. Just drop an edge here. Go. And if you guys are looking for something like the split polygon tool or traditional tools that you are used to working with inside of ZBrush, those are still to be found inside of the marking menus. Let's see, object mode, shift right click, there you have your insert edge loop. All, you know, append polygon. I think it's control shift right click, all right click, alt shift right click. No. Yeah, so I mean it's all in here. Anyways. Yeah, whenever you're retopologizing, time definitely goes by really, really fast. And honestly, 2015 has made retopology a joy for me. And I don't know if, well, I say a joy for me again. I really have to compliment Autodesk on these features. Let's see. Let's insert check here. See if I'm painting myself into a corner. You know what? I'm just going to continue on. let's see what I get here. I'm going to end up with a try. I'm going to try not to end up with a try. You know what? I think I could use an edge loop all the way down here. I think I'm fine with that. Even though it's going to create a lot of new faces, I think it's going to give me some nice form in here. And this area was so light, I was kind of actually concerned about it. So, I'm okay with that. That'll help me with my try situation. You know, and it's not always quads at any cost, right? So if there's an area where it's just not visible, like on a human head, that would be like behind the ear flap. It's not going to kill you to have a hidden try, you know, somewhere in the model. You just don't want it anywhere that's visible or important. You know, that's the optimal. And like I said, this is a hard surface object, so I'm not really going, like, I'm not trying to be super anal retentive in attempting to keep this 100% just beautiful topology, because it doesn't bend. It just needs to hold the shape. And Christian is saying that it's a meditative process, and that's totally true. I feel the same way. Don't like how that's looping around, so let's see what I can do with this. Let's close that off like that. And you know what? I'm gonna live with that try, because it is not worth it for me to drop in an edge loop that goes all the way around like that. And that's a hidden spot, right? There's no way, there's barely any way anybody would ever see that, so I'm okay with that. All right, one last look at the head before I move on to the body. Now, I'm not gonna worry about the interior of the mouth, but I wanna make sure that all my edge looping is done that I need to do in here. So, let's hide everything here. Go back to normals and soften edge. All right, and that's not too bad. There is an area in here I want to hold the edge of that beak a little better. The interior of the eye, which I'll get to at the very end of the model. I want to round that out a little bit better and actually make room for the eyeball to be in there. Same thing with the nostril. I want to pull that in so we get a nice shadow on the inside of the nostril. I don't want to completely rely on my normal map to provide that for me. So let's save and then delete history. There we go. All right, and let's see. Quad draw again. This is another beautiful thing that I discovered not too long ago. So we're going to quad draw. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in an edge loop here. There's one I need it for animation in the back of the beak, not so much for front, but I'll need it anyways. You'll notice that when I dropped in that edge loop, it's still snapped to my live reference, even though my live reference is no longer visible. Right, so I'm still snapping to that surface, whether it's visible or not, whenever I'm working with my geometry. So you can always hide your reference mesh when you have to come in and make adjustments, so that you don't have to be staring at that model. All right, I do want to drop in an edge loop right up against this one, and this is to hold the edge of the beak a little bit better, to give me a crisp edge. object mode. All right, and that's giving me a crisp edge. I don't want a mechanical edge, but I at least want a crisp edge around the beak. All right, so from here, we're gonna move into the body. And what I'll do is I'm hopefully gonna be able to get through the chest and the front limbs today. And then next class, I'll finish off the back, which shouldn't take too long. We'll go back into ZBrush, and then by Friday, we'll have everything that we need out of ZBrush and out of Maya so that we can go into Marmoset. So, let's see. I am seeing one thing here. This guy's not behaving very well. Like, I'm looking at that, and it's kind of funky. To have this structure next to this, the way that it's laying out, is just not great. Let me see. Quad draw, and let's just try and get this in a better position. That's a little better, but it's a combination of this L junction right here, this L junction right here, that's causing issues. Don't want to do anything there. Everything else, I think we're fine. All right, onto the body. Or not, we still have to complete this out. So what you want, by the time you're done with the head, is you want a nice clean edge loop that comes around the base of the head. Right, so we can just make a simple extrusion coming back into the neck and create that cylinder for the neck. And we're almost there. Start with a few of these markers, broad strokes. And might as well bring it out one more row so that we're not right up against the mouth there.